I'm astounded by how many people are here.
Oh, well, I'm not. I think when you do quality work, the people will come.
Yeah. And I think people are ready for spirituality as a reality in their lives as well.
Oh, absolutely. I've been kind of proven that even with public television. I mean, they're now doing specials on spirituality, higher consciousness, higher awareness, manifesting things that they wouldn't even consider years ago. So it's becoming very mainstream. Right.
Yeah, and I think I'm really happy to hear that, because I think it's very important. And
well, if we can, it's the changes that are going to take place are going to take place in our hearts. If we're going to change this world, if we're going to shift around the kinds of things that are taking place so frequently, it's going to take place from a change of heart.
Right.
And these kinds of films, these kinds of energy, these kind of people, Maui is a perfect place for doing it.
Right. Yeah, and I think you're right. If we can make a little bit of an inroad with the film, if somebody sees a little bit of light, that's really our intention for the whole thing.
Absolutely. Well, they have this. I have a saying from one of my books, from The Power of Intention: when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. The world is really going to change as we begin to look at it differently. Yeah. And the way that we can look at it differently is through the films, through the music, through the television shows, through the kinds of media. Yeah. That's how we're going to really change the way we look at things. We'll see a different world. We really will. Yeah. And these kinds of films will not only become mainstream, they're going to be things that more and more people are producing. Because I get involved in a lot of them myself.
Yes.
Right.
Aloha. Thank you for coming out. This is a special evening. So, when somebody does a sincere act of service and passion and creative self-expression, it ripples out into the universe in amazing ways. And I want to tell you a very, very short vignette that proved this to me, which is my vision and wish for this film. When I was a teenager, I adopted Orthodox Judaism. And I was very involved in it for about 7 years. And then when I was in college, I remember the power of the religion had waned for me. And one night I sat on a holiday, a fast day when you're not supposed to eat, and I didn't know why I was fasting. The only reason I could think of was that I'd be going to hell if I didn't. And in that moment, I made a decision, and I decided that fear was not enough of a reason to do a religious act. And so I ate a piece of cake. And at that point, everything changed. And that was the beginning of my spiritual path. It was the end of my religious path and the beginning of my spiritual path, which led to this, led to this, led to this. And then this week, I was doing a program, my Life Master training up in Makawao. And at the end of the week, I told that story. At the end of the week, a man took my hand and he looked me in the eye and he said, "Thank you for eating that cake." And what he was saying was that act that I did 40 years ago led to us being together here now. And so this is my vision for this film, that one sincere act of authentic, passionate, creative, serviceful self-expression can ripple out and change the world in infinite ways. So I am honored to be a part of the film. I'm honored to share the stage with the other dignitaries. I bless Paul and Carl for it, and I bless you for watching it. Thank you for coming tonight.
It's great to be here.
It's so beautiful to see all our brothers and sisters together.
When we were asked to come here and speak a few words, I mean, you know all the words, and the film is really beautiful, and Alan said it all right there. But I really wanted to speak to what it was being interviewed by Carl and Paul. And, well, Carl was behind the camera and Paul was interviewing. They were really listening. And to me, listening is the same as complete willingness to open the mind. So I don't know who their teacher is. From what I can see on the film, it's probably Neale Walsch is their main teacher, but in that moment, it didn't matter. We were present together, simply because they were listening. I'm sure they wanted their film to be great and they wanted each interview to be great, but all of that was out of the way. And there was just the presence of being together. And that's all we ever have. And that's enough. So I thank you for allowing us to be a part of that.
And thank you for allowing me to be part of Gangaji Eli.
Aloha, namaste. Well, I was giving darshan, a light transmission at the Temple of Peace, and I've pretty much devoted my entire life to the light and to being of service to the light. And that night that Carl came to the darshan was a really special night, and the light just ignited inside of him, and I watched it happen. And when Carl came and asked me to be in this film that he was inspired to create together with Paul, they'd come together and cooked up this incredible vision of creating a film which really brought the light out to the world, to the mainstream, to everybody. And I was very touched and very inspired to see how the light had taken effect in you, and to see how it changed your lives and how you literally came alive. And to see how that's continued. And that's my prayer and hope for each one of you, that each one of you may come to fully know the light within yourself, and that you may take this message and spread it to the whole world to be of service, that all of humanity can wake up to the light across the mainstream, all people everywhere, to awaken to know the light within themselves and to know who they are, and that we really can awaken as a global family and a global species. And I'd like to see that happen in my time. And also, I'd like to say that my interview was filmed in my living room on Kauai, and I was just delighted to see the scenes in the film from Kauai and Maui. And I'm going to enjoy traveling around the world, 2012, bringing this film with me all over the world, and enjoy seeing the South Africans and the Europeans and everybody else seeing scenes from Kauai and Maui. So we'll bring the aloha and the light to them everywhere. And just let's let that message get out to everyone. And I want to thank Paul and Carl for coming and creating this beautiful film, and all the other luminaries and dignitaries who came into the film. It's an honor to all be together in spreading this message to an awakening humanity. Namaste.
This is amazing.
Totally amazing. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here.
But there's only one person that I really want to say a special thanks to, and that's Carl.
Oh.
He's been marvelous. And from the day that we met, it's been about this movie and about this message.
Right.
And all these beautiful people just came and said yes.
And thank you everyone for being here. My experience of making this film has been uplifting and inspiring, and has really changed my life in a very positive way. And I hope that you can have the same experience as well. Thank you.
It's possible for you. It's possible for everyone to wake up and be free. All it takes is your own willingness. First of all, you have to know it's possible. And secondly, you have to be willing. Everything else takes care of itself. Because what you're searching for is your own self. And how far is that from where you are right now?
Congratulate you, Carl, and all the people that put this together. I think it was just a really, really good effort. I think it did everything you hoped it would do. I feel a whole lot better for having seen it, and I think it's going to be big. I think it's going to blossom. I think it's going to help people understand where it is we need to go as a humankind, and I think it's a wonderful, wonderful step to get there. So congratulations.
I love the movie. Everybody seems to kind of bring a message together that I really enjoyed, and that is it's all within. All the answers are right here, and we need to develop a practice to get in touch with that. So that's what I got out of it. I loved it.
I thought it was beautifully narrated too. I thought
Great.
he did a great job of pulling it all together.
Fantastic.
And I thought the editing of the movie was great.
That was incredible. I was very impressed.
Thank you.
Yes. just a reminder to emanate the light that we are out on a daily basis.
I really enjoyed it.
Wonderful.
It was fantastic. It was such a wonderful evening of truth and connection, and reminds me to live in this state of presence as much as I can.
And being a surfer, to see those waves was quite inspirational, and the concept of light is very interesting to know, and how to put it into words is always very challenging. I think it's what everyone has said, and I've obviously fallen in love with Gangaji and her message, and to see her there was refreshing and beautiful, and this journey that we're all on is so amazing.
Living in light, it's fantastic. Everyone has to buy a copy. Yeah.
So did your comments on the movie?
I think it's inspirational, and everybody needs to watch it, and you can feel the vibration coming from the teachers, coming out of the screen. It's really amazing.
It was wonderful. It was the message that everyone needs to hear. It was so clear. I had a student here from Sweden who can hardly understand English. She said, I understood every word. It was simple. It was easily expressed in a way that anybody could understand it. And these are the kind of movies that everyone needs to see now. Thank you.
Gosh, thank you.
I thought it was wonderful. It was really uplifting and a good reminder in a lot of ways. And I really, the last, when Neale Diamond Walsch talked about seeing the divinity in everyone. I thought that was so powerful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fabulous, just fabulous. I'm so glad that you had a variety of speakers, because they each had their own perspective, their own way of talking about enlightenment, and it was very good. It made it interesting to keep panning on different speakers, and they're all that Maui has met in the past. So, and some of them live here part of the year, so that made it very special. And to have the settings of the Maui Ocean in the background, that was part of that coming to that place of peace within.